Hello, world. Welcome to Shake Talk with Barbie Lee. This is where we shake up your wake up with a great conversation, a great bit of information. I say it's great because I give it, so I can say it's great. Yeah, actually, it kind of is because people comment. So, this week we are talking about where are we on commitment number 7 already, I believe, or commitment number 8, because we're doing the book. The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. So, this is the book that we're doing by, there we go, Detmer, Chapman, and Klemp. So that's what we're working on. And we are currently, hold on, let me get to the page now. Oh, that's what happens when I use my Kindle. Oh, I need 2 hands. All right, so this is brought to you by The Best Breakfast Ever. And what I tell people all the time is we can live from a better body and a better bank account simply by changing what we have for breakfast. All right, so we are on Excelling in Your Zone of Genius, which is chapter number 8. So this is a little cartoon that starts before it. Isn't that the cutest little thing? It says, sorry, I can't read and see at the same time. You amplify my brilliance. Isn't that great? Look how happy they are. All right. So in chapter 8, it says, or commitment number 8, it says excelling in your zone of genius. So the authors talk about the commitments being above the line or below the line. So the above the line commitment is I commit to expressing myself, I commit to expressing my full magnificence and to supporting and inspiring others to fully express their creativity and live in their zone of genius. Like, doesn't that sound great? Don't you want to hang out with a bunch of people who are living in their own full magnificence and supporting and inspiring you and others to fully express their creativity and live in their zone of genius? Like, seriously, that's where I know I want to live. And the below the line comment, or the unconscious commitment, is I commit to holding myself back and not realizing my full potential by living in areas of incompetence, competence, and non-excellence. Yes, Mather, above the line. So there, if you want to do your screenshot, here, let's see. There we go. I know, it really sucks. I don't know. Okay, there's your screenshot. All right, so it says, oh, it's a familiar story. Joe has a job that he does quite well. And when he first started, he was excited about it. But now he sits daydreaming about whether he'd rather be teaching high school students history and bringing these characters to life. But there's no practicality in that. So he stays where he is. Like, how many of you guys know somebody like that? That, is in a job that they really don't care about, but they do it because they're kind of stuck there. They're making decent money. It's paying the bills. They have benefits. Oh my God, that's the one I hear all the time. You're an entrepreneur, but you don't have benefits. I'm like, yes, I do. I get the benefit of waking up when I want to. I get the benefit of not having to ask a boss if I need a day off. I get the benefit of, and I can go on and list like 30 benefits. It's quite funny. Anyhow. So he says, understanding the zones. So people get stuck in 3 areas or zones that prevent them from expressing their full magnificence, creativity, and gifts to the world, which we call living in the zone of genius. So in the book, Gay Hendricks, so he's one of the authors of this book, or one of the ones that they refer to all the time, in The Big Leap. Love that book. It has the picture of the big fishbowl, or the little fishbowl with the fish jumping into the big fishbowl. That's the Big Leap. So he identifies these 4 zones. So genius, excellent, incompetent, and competent. So genius is, what work do you so love doing that it doesn't seem like work? Okay? Which aspects of your work generate the highest ratio of positive results compared to time spent? Okay, that's the genius. Now, excellent is, what do you consistently get positive feedback about in your work and life? And excellence is also, what do you do better than just about anyone else? Okay, that's being excellent, not your zone of genius, but excellent. And then there's the competent. What work do you do that others can do just as well or better? And what work do you do well but doesn't feel totally satisfying? So that's being competent. Then incompetent is, what do you constantly get negative feedback about in your work? What work do you do that just about everyone can do better? Okay, so here I'm going to show you. Give me a second. I think if I click on that one, it brings there. So it brings the chart. Can I turn it down? Oh, that's a little bit better. All right, so here's the chart. Okay, so let me get that like that. There you go. There's a nice little screenshot of the chart. So 3, 2, 1. All right. So basically it's saying when you're working in your zone of genius, what work do you love doing so that it doesn't seem like work? Okay. So one of the things I love doing is helping people figure out a health plan for themselves. I'm not talking about a benefit plan. I'm talking about health, how they feed their body, how they move their body, how they think, right? Oh my gosh, one of my favorite ones is when I run one of my rooftop meditation classes that I do at the Muttart, right? So what work do you love so love doing that it doesn't seem like work? I spent 9, so for 4 days, I probably spent a total of about 30 hours, maybe about 25 hours setting up and cleaning the church and getting the garage sale ready. And then one particular day I was there from like 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Then I went and I ran a rooftop meditation. And people were like, how did you do that? I was like, I love running the rooftop meditations. So it didn't feel like work, right? So it didn't matter what I did that day, but it didn't feel like work, okay? So which aspects of your work generate the highest ratio of positive results compared to time spent? So I can help somebody, especially with their weight loss or gaining weight or sleeping better, like their health stuff with Isagenix. And I know that every day they wake up feeling better. So it's an ongoing feeling. I don't have to talk to them, right? I might see a Facebook post and I get this warm, fuzzy feeling that, I help them get to that positivity place, right? So that's really cool. And then the other end of it, right? So the genius, backwards, to incompetent. So this incompetent is, what do you consistently get negative feedback about in your work? What do you do that just about everyone can do better? Now, most people wouldn't say they're in a job that they are incompetent at. They're probably competent and possibly even excellent. So that competent is, what work do you do well but don't feel totally satisfying? What work do you do that others can do just as well or better? So that's being competent. So that's most of, and I'm not downplaying anybody's employment or anything like that, but that's what we call minimum wage jobs, right? So in the restaurants, the retail industry, all that kind of stuff, the service industries, those are pretty much anybody can do them. Now, do you do your work really well? Ooh, maybe a good one, results versus time spent. So do you do your work really well? It doesn't matter, because you could be the best waitress, let's say, for example, in a restaurant, and sure, you might make a few tips more, but you make the exact same hourly wage as the brand new waitress that just walked in, because that's what the job is worth. So that's how you know if you're in a competent situation, because you get paid what the job is worth. All right. Now, when you're in an excellent position or career, what do you do consistently? What do you consistently get positive feedback about in your work and life? Okay. So now you're in a job or a relationship that people are constantly like, yesterday I had a beautiful moment at church. A lady came up and was just so grateful for everything that I do around there. And she was so heartfelt about it. And I just thought, wow, that was like totally lovely. Like, it was really nice, right? So being excellent, what do you do better than just about anybody else? So then you might get paid a little bit more, right? Maybe you're in a company where you have some specialized skills, right? You have a specific training or whatever. So that would be working in your excellence, right? And then you have that genius, right? So coming from that place of what work do you so love doing that it doesn't seem like work? So here's what I want you to think about as you're going about your day today. Does your work and your relationships assure your quality of life? Because it's all about your quality of life. Because at the end of the day, if you're not living the life you want, it's usually because it's in one of these areas, right? Maybe you're in the incompetent, or just living competently. And who wants to say, oh, I'm just fine. I'm tired of that, right? Fine. Why not? We're fabulous, amazing, juicy, delicious, right? So my love of life is all about quality of life, helping me have a better quality of life, my kids, my family, my friends, my Facebook viewers, whoever wants to sustain a better quality of life physically and financially. I say live from a better body, live from a better bank account. It's not mine. I stole it from a very brilliant person. So go to qualitylifeassurance.com, see what I do, reach out to me and say, Barbie Lee, it's time I assured my quality of life. We'll see you on Wednesday.